EBK Jabbo arrested before his tour. Jabbo has been arrested in Arkansas on numbers of charges after announcing his tour with YoungBoy.
He's definitely not coming home no time soon because he's currently on house arrest for 2 different cases with 2 different monitors. Jabbo really doesn't like his freedom for him to be riding around with weapons and dope. Like he Big Meech, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Shortly, just looking back a minute ago, you feel me, he had just got released, you know what I'm saying, from one of the best lawyers in Northern Cali, you feel me, you know what I'm saying, I believe it's her husband or her people's. And meanwhile, though, you gotta stay out of jail. I'm just gonna be honest, man. I don't believe bro gonna stay in jail, because this is one of the biggest tours, you know what I'm saying, for this man, you feel me, you know what I'm saying, that was gonna bring a lot of money, so the people gonna make sure this happen, man. Remind you, he on GPS already, though, and the charges they trying to get him with, somebody might take the charge, whatever it may be. He might be out before the tour. I'm just saying, that's just my guess, though, man. What y'all feel in the comments?
Can we just get your take on how you feel about Jabbo being back incarcerated?
Yeah, okay. My take is, we got to call it Bill Clinton. We got to get us out of Arkansas. Please. Why was he in Arkansas? Do you know?
Yes, because okay, so you guys, he cut off his ankle monitors.
He cut off ankle.
He cut off both of his ankle monitors and he fled to Arkansas.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I was waiting.
Oh wow.
Just to drop on No Jumper.
But why would
I feel like this was a No Jumper exclusive.
Why would he flee to Arkansas?
Because so after he cut off his ankle monitors, what he did was he went, well, because it's harder to extradite from the Midwest and the East Coast. So that's why he left.
So he was thinking ahead, but why would he?
But mind you, before the NBA YoungBoy concert tour was announced, the ankle monitors were already cut off.
Really?
Yes.
That's weird because I seen
but
him.
the text said
I
the
seen him
PO
the other
approved
day.
it, right?
He was in
and that's why they never followed up with the show, because it was his manager orchestrating everything behind the scenes, when in reality he knew that Jabbo had already cut off both of his ankle monitors.
When did he do that? Because I saw a video of him less than a week ago.
It's been like 2 weeks.
Okay,
but you don't cut it off and then they just immediately come to get you?
No, he had everything planned out.
Where are you getting this information?
I mean, you guys know I'm like the #1 resource in Northern California.
How could he be such a crash out to not want to just like follow the straight and narrow, especially given that he's got this gigantic tour coming up in 4 months?
Yeah, why would he?
But the ankle monitors were cut off before the tour was announced with YoungBoy.
But he still
he still knew it was coming, right?
He still had massive momentum and was like one of the biggest rappers in the coast.
He did, but a lot of people are failing to realize that EBK Jabbo was dealing with a lot of trauma. So yeah, he's a rapper. Yeah, he has his notoriety. Yeah, he has
trauma.
Trauma.
That should be a news story. Like we should post that. Like EBK Jabbo has trauma.
No, he has untreated trauma.
We all got trauma.
No, he has untreated trauma, though.
Now, most definitely, now that you guys got the memo on that, and you kind of got a upbringing of understanding of what could have happened, allegedly, and what is really going on and whatnot, you guys got to understand this, though. Jabbo is a street dude, man. Although he got his notoriety, knowing he's doing what he's doing, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, we go through hard times. We go through certain trials and tribulations. So at the end of the day, he going to keep a hold on him. He going to keep moving how he want to move to protect his soul and everything like that, though. So a lot of people ain't going to understand anything. It's easier said than done when you be like, man, you know what I'm saying? You got all this money, man. Move like this. Man, it ain't that easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even NBA YoungBoy, the dude that he was going to be on tour with, he moving how he moving, going in and out of jail.
New laws signed by Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders today will change the prison and parole system in Arkansas. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rolly Hoyt.
And I'm Karen Fuller. Faith and Craig are off this week. These laws mean tougher punishments for certain crimes and new limits on parole.
Teacher 11 Sarah Habakowitz breaks down the sprawling Protect Arkansas Act.
The final bills from this legislative session are now making their way to Sarah Sanders' desk, and today she signed off on a plan to lock up repeat violent offenders in the state, prison expansion, and tougher punishment for drug crimes.
It's no mistake that Arkansas has one of the highest violent crime rates
in America. The legislation I sign will put an end to that failed status quo.
More specifically, this limits parole. Starting in 2025, those found guilty of serious crimes like second-degree murder and first-degree sexual assault will have to serve 85% of their sentence before they're eligible for supervised release. Starting next year, people who are found guilty of especially violent crimes like capital murder or rape will no longer be eligible for parole at all.
No more revolving door in our prisons, and no more weak sentencing, and no more unsafe streets.
Bryant Police Chief Carl Minden says he's hoping this will limit the amount of repeat arrests they see now.
It's just a repetitious process of just catching the same person, just letting them go.
Minden says some of this frustration comes from overcrowding of state prisoners filling up local jails.
Anytime one of the officers makes an arrest for low-level misdemeanor crimes, they're not taken to jail.
To address that, the administration also plans to add 3,000 more prison beds. The governor asking for $470 million to do so, an expansion that Saline County Sheriff Rodney Wright says law enforcement needs.
Well, right now there's overcrowding in all of our local jails. The additional 3,000 coming down the line, again, it helps us get back to misdemeanor justice.
So this is how I want you guys to look at this situation. You know what I'm saying? Basically, he got one of the biggest tours coming up, right? He didn't know this tour. It barely got announced because of, you know what I'm saying, his manager or whatever the case might be. You know what I'm saying? Look, the best thing you could do after that is make the best moves. And it's like certain laws has changed. They really going after people that really has been doing other stuff. And you know what I'm saying? I guess he just got smarter, or people that is really thinking on a higher level said flee out that way. You know what I'm saying? That way we could capitalize. They might let you go. You get back right there on 2 GPSs again, and you'll be out in no time. We don't know how this going to play out. But the biggest thing is this. The more people think that he ain't got a chance, the more people gonna see.
Breaking news, EBK Jabbo has been arrested once again, this time in Arkansas. This is coming on the heels of the massive announcement that he would be joining NBA YoungBoy on his first tour home from prison. A gigantic look for an artist of Jabbo's size. But it seems like Jabbo just can't stay out of trouble, possibly suffering from a condition that I myself call 4-extra-itis, where you get locked up and then you get locked up again almost immediately after release for almost the exact same stuff that you got arrested for before.
One thing for sure is this: when you in the streets, man, you in the streets. And one thing for certain, nowadays, people ain't authentic. And you know what I'm saying, being somebody that's real authentic nowadays in the street life, you know what I'm saying, can make you look like a fool because everybody going out backwards nowadays. So, you know what I'm saying, you know, I just look at it like this, man. These are two different dudes that's standing on what they stand on, and it makes them look a certain way. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I don't mean that they ain't going to be successful later on down the line. You know, we all go through some breaking tones, different things in life. You did.
For criminal use of a prohibited weapon, theft by receiving, and then there's another possession of a controlled substance charge with a slightly different statute number listed, which I guess means that he got picked up for multiple different drugs. We don't know anything at this time about the circumstances that led to him being searched, raided, or however this went down, but we will be keeping a close eye on this story for more details. Make sure you smash that like button. It's worth noting that Jabbo doesn't look in any way bothered by these charges in his newest mugshot, showing off his grill for the camera. Honestly, you gotta love Jabbo. He's on a generational run right now, dropping nonstop heaters ever since he got released from jail a few months back. Songs like Homebody and Everybody are some of my favorite tracks of the year. And I've said this before, but in my whole time covering drill music, I've never seen any of the Chicago guys show any interest in California's rappers up until Jabbo's most recent run. This guy is really the one Northern California rapper who I think can establish a huge countrywide fan base. But
so look, with that being said, though, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be a lot of people behind this guy. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays, we already been seeing how the Tory Lanez situation is, and different people that can make moves for people when it comes down to money, you feel me? So, you know what I'm saying, right now, I'm going to keep it real. If you go look back into the whole Arkansas thing, Lil Rock, and you look at it, even when bro was in office, you feel me, I'm saying, Clinton, it's a lot of faulty business. So, you know what I'm saying, bro knew what he was doing. He got some player moves, probably he got some people that's behind him, and he gonna get himself through this. You dig what I'm talking about? And it is what it is. But meanwhile, though, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like I would say, hey, violate that like button, violate that subscribe button, and I mean, share this and stay tuned in. You dig?
But instead, he just keeps driving around, getting loaded with weapons on him, and going in and out of jail. I'm sure he's trying to stay out of trouble, but he's not trying very hard, as this most recent arrest shows. Okay, enough glazing. The first question that comes to mind, why was Jaybo in Arkansas? The YoungBoy tour isn't slated to start until September, which is almost 4 months away, and Arkansas is very, very far away from Stockton, California. I can't really think of any rappers who Jaybo might have been tapping in with in Arkansas either, so if you have any idea why he was out there, feel free to leave it in the comments. These charges are almost identical to the stuff that Jaybo got arrested for back on March 16th when he was picked up for drugs, ammunition, driving without a license, and violating his probation. He was able to get released just a few days later, releasing this video with his bail bondsman, who looks like he's about to narrate a mob documentary on Netflix.
When I tell you I get your favorite rappers out, we really do this shit.
Shout out California's Capitals Bills Burns, nigga. He getting your favorite rappers out. You feel me? We finna go crazy. They're homies that can't keep a real nigga down. Shout out, bro.
That March arrest took place right after filming a video on his block where he grew up with both Vaughn off 1700 and Stunna Girl, who he was presumably giving to at the time. Notably, that video with Vaughn has not dropped yet, which is a shame because this has got to be one of the first times that a top-tier Chicago drill rapper went to Northern California to film a music video with an up-and-coming artist. And I was really looking forward to seeing how their respective fan bases reacted. Speaking of Jaybo and Stunna Girl, I'm not sure if anybody caught it, but famed Stockton op blogger Jaleese just recently told us on the news that Jaybo and Stunna Girl were no longer dealing with each other and had unfollowed each other, which in fact checks out. What a guy.
Since we're on live stream, I'll be the first to say EBK Jabbo and Stunna Girl no longer follow each other on Instagram. You guys should go do your homework. That their publicity stunt is officially over.
Wait, so you don't think he was really piping, or you think that they were really piping and feel? Oh, okay. But you think that they were actually really like in a relationship, like really feeling each other for a little bit and it didn't work out?
No, she was feeling him. He wasn't feeling her. When he asked for the fundamentals and she didn't deliver, he cut her off like a bad habit on a Sunday.
Oh, shit.
Fundamentals.
We got the YouTube title for this clip. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
So, you know,
well, if they don't follow each other, it's a pretty open and shut case, I think. It makes sense.
This is pretty crazy when you consider that Stunna Girl has been cool with Mozzie for many years and has deep roots with both Mozzie himself and various Mozzie affiliates like the BOE guys who I just interviewed recently. Jaybo has established himself as Mozzie's top op, I guess you could say. So this was a pretty shocking move from Stunna Girl. And it's even more shocking that Jaybo and Stunna Girl were apparently only cool for a month or two before going their separate ways. I assume Jaybo will be free by the time the YoungBoy tour starts, but it is worth mentioning that this tour is supposed to go through Chicago, where YoungBoy is one of the most controversial figures in the city as a result of his beef with Lil Durk, who is incarcerated but is still the biggest rapper out of the rack right now. Jaybo going on tour with YB definitely feels like Jaybo choosing sides in the OTF versus 4K Trey war that has been in full bloom for quite a few years now, ever since King Von lost his life at the hands of Lil Tim and Lil Pab lost his life at a gas station in Hollywood, a murder that the feds claim Durk financed. Fans have noted that Jaybo doesn't follow Durk on the gram. I don't know if he ever did, but also at least one O-Block member, Tay Munna, spoke about YB on the gram saying, "Motherfucker's gonna shoot that bitch up. Ain't no show in Chicago for dude," which is probably not meant to be taken completely serious because he followed it with a laughing emoji, but it does highlight the fact that YoungBoy's first tour back after his lengthy legal battle is unlikely to be drama-free. And if Jaybo does go on the road with him, there could definitely be some fireworks along the way, especially given how Jaybo has been moving recently. Okay, update from future Adam. So right after I filmed that video, I went on the news for a little bit and Jaleese came in, and as you know, she's like a Northern California expert, and she hit me with some additional information about the whole Jaybo thing.
Now, for my audience that's been keeping tabs and keeping up with the situation, you know what I'm saying, I already gave you guys that notation right there in the beginning when you guys already heard Jaleese speak on No Jumper, you know what I'm saying, had a conversation with Adam 22, you dig what I'm talking about? So look, with that being said though, smash that like button, subscribe, like, comment, and understand we gonna keep it with the exclusive. I'm gonna be on No Jumper soon too, though. You dig?
Have this update. EBK Jabbo says he was out in Arkansas trying to get to the XXL freshman shoot. So he commented that he's locked up. So presumably it was somebody on his team. But there's your update. You let me know what you think. Are you tuned in to Jabbo's music? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know. And make sure you smash the like button and let us know what you think of these breaking news style videos. Appreciate y'all.
I was rich then, but you ain't even know it like Rocco. We don't keep score, we just keep on scoring.